Good morning, and thank you for joining the Home Care Sales and Marketing Society's webinar for September. Welcome. This is going to be the annual conference preview. And joining me today is Michael Giudicissi. Hello, Michael.
Good morning, Melanie. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me here from rainy Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Well, it is sunny and bright in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So here we go. As you know, Michael and I and a whole bunch of other industry experts are going to be going to the Monte Carlo in Las Vegas in October. And it's our third annual Home Care Sales and Marketing Society meeting or conference. So we wanted to give you a little bit of preview for those of you who are thinking about going, to understand what the agenda looks like and get some tips and a little flavor for what's going to happen there. For those of you who can't go, at least you'll get some tactics and techniques that you can put into practice at the end of this webinar session. So Michael Giudicissi and I will be going over some of the action items that we're going to talk about, tactics and ideas, so that you can understand what's going to be happening at the Home Care Sales and Marketing Society's annual conference in October in Las Vegas. So without further ado, my name is Melanie Stover. I'm your Executive Director, and I'm going to share with you the webinar agenda for today. We're going to take a sneak peek at the talent that is going to be in Las Vegas at the Society Conference. I'm going to be talking about overcoming the no and getting to the yes. How do we get to the yes of specific patients or clients that we're looking for? And number 3, Michael is going to talk about sales efficiency. He will do an hour-long presentation in Vegas on sales efficiency. And finally, we're going to share with you a special offer if you would like to join us at the conference. So let's begin. What are Michael and I going to talk about in Las Vegas? Well, there we are. There's our beautiful pictures. Michael, nice hair. Good job there.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about open our conference with the State of Home Care 2013 and beyond. Michael and I will share with you top trends that we see in the industry and how to best prepare yourself for success moving forward in home care. We're also going to do a session called Getting Past the No and On to the Yes. This is role-playing some of your toughest clients. Now, I'm going to give you a little taste of that today. Unfortunately, we won't be able to role-play, but when you go to Vegas, you will actually see us role-play with your colleagues, peer-to-peer role-playing, so you'll get practice at getting some of those great, tough objections and getting to the yes of how do we get the patients or clients that we want, those high profitability patients. And then finally, Michael's going to talk about sales efficiency, and he is also going to give us a little flavor of that later in this webinar. Chris Tunnell is going to be there talking about referral source management and a customer relationship management tool called Home Care CRM. Ed Pitcock, the founder of the Certified Senior Advisor, is going to be talking about aging trends and his new role as the Home Care Standards Bureau. Steve the Hurricane is going to come and speak to us about the art of closing. And we're going to have an experts panel so that all the folks that you see here are going to be taking your questions live to get you the answers you need. Liz Pearson is going to give us our legal update. What can we do in home care and how can we do it legally? And Valerie Van Uven about reputation management, online and in your community. So let's begin. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about getting past the no. We are going to role play in Vegas, and while we can't do that here today, I would like to share with you some techniques about getting the patients or clients that you specifically want. We all know that patients and clients are not created equally. Some of you love live-in clients. Some of you love orthopedic patients. And what you need to decide is how, as a sales rep, can you get those patients that you absolutely want and need so that your agency is successful and profitable. So how do we get past the no and on to the yes? Well, in this mini presentation here about for our webinar today, I want to focus on excellent questioning. Questioning is the best way that you can get your referral sources to key in on those specific patient types that you want. But before you do that, you have to identify what type of patient do you want. So you have to go to your, if you're the owner, think about this. Is it profitability? If you are a sales rep, you may need to go to your owner, to your DON, to your clinical manager, to your care coordinator. Sit down with them and talk about what are the patient types or client types that we want. How can we define that? So first you got to define it. What is the patient type that you want? It could be by diagnosis or by service line. What does that mean? Well, diagnosis could mean that we're looking for long-term Alzheimer's patients, for example. Service line could be live-ins. Another example of that may be we're looking for heart failure patients so that we can use the service lines of our disease management programs such as OT, PT, nursing. So first you have to identify the type of patient you want, and then you have to create a sales message, or in some cases a program around the patient type. Now often you are already caring for this type of patient, so it's just simply a sales message that you are going to put around the diagnosis or service line of the patient type that you're looking for. So let's give an example of this. For my Medicare friends out there, oftentimes we want a Medicare patient. And how do we get that? They may want to give to us an MA patient. They may want to give to us a Blue Cross Blue Shield patient. And while we're here to serve all patients, oftentimes there's a payer source that you would prefer over another one. And in this example, I'm using Medicare, but this could be any type of payer source that you so enjoy. So if you're out there and you're a Humana Gold expert and you really love their payments, or you think that the rates for Blue Cross Blue Shield is great, just insert your payer source of choice in this area. But for this demonstration purposes here today, I'm going to talk to you about Medicare. And one of the key things that I do when I'm presenting out in the field is to use the word Medicare in your presentation of services and then ask for a Medicare patient. So Michael always talks about the power of asking. And this is one of the times when not only are you asking, but you're asking for a specific type of patient, and in this case, a specific payer source. So you could say, thanks for meeting with me today, Melanie Stover from Prairie River Home Care. We're a Medicare certified agency. And that's going to set the tone of your conversation of who you are and what you're looking for. Another example of using the word Medicare would be, which Medicare patient is discharging this week? And then move on to the rest of your sentence. That could benefit from home care. That is going to struggle with their ADLs when they get home. So you can see, anytime we use the word Medicare or any other type of patient source that we're looking for, you're going to neuro-linguistically have that referral source focus on that particular type of patient. So think about that the next time you're out in the field. Are you using the words of choice to get the patients you want or the clients you want? Let's do another example. Let's say that you have a program or that your nurses are really good at helping keep heart failure patients out of the hospital. So consequently, you may want to do a diagnosis-specific or a disease-specific specialty program focus, and I would use what I call diagnosis trigger questions. You guys have heard me talk about this before. Diagnosis trigger questions are the easiest way to get patients off a caseload and out into your agencies. Here's an example. Which heart failure patients struggle with their diet and medication compliance? Or which stroke patient needs additional assistance with ADLs? Now that last one could be for both of these could be for Medicare certified home health and non-medical private duty, depending on how you want to position your caregivers or your nurses. You know, in that first one, diet and medication for nurses, it could be about medication setups. It could be about disease process education, meal planning. From a non-medical caregiver standpoint, it could be about meal preparation and medication reminders. So know that these questions can work for both Medicare Certified Home Health and non-medical private duty. Let's take another look here. Using a sales message to gain longer-term private pay clients. I know a lot of you private duty agencies would really like to have some live-ins. And if you're focusing on that live-in population, we need to ask smart questions that are going to trigger patients patient or clients into your agency. So which Parkinson's patient will struggle when they go home because their spouse will not be able to physically care for them? This is looking at a Parkinson's patient. We know that's a long-term chronic care disease. Same with Alzheimer's in the question below it. And we know that if we can position it in a way that a caregiver living with them might be helpful, they're going to think of you when they have live-in needs or they have patients who have live-in questions. So these are some of the ideas that we're going to be sharing at the Home Care Sales and Marketing Society annual conference. Again, we're going to take these ideas, and then the second half of our presentation will be all about role-playing. It will be about peer-to-peer interaction and how can we share share the techniques that we are teaching and have you practice them right there in the room, get great skill development. So thanks so much for learning a little bit about what we're going to do from a sales and marketing, getting past the no. And now we're going to learn from Michael a little bit about his sales efficiency session. Michael, take it away.
Well, thanks, Melanie. I'm excited to meet many of you for the first time in Las Vegas. We are, gosh, we're just a few weeks away at this point, about 3 weeks, Melanie, is that correct?
That's right, 20 days.
Yeah, 20 days away. So not only do I love to talk about home care sales and marketing, but I love Las Vegas. So if you do too, please make sure that you come on out and join us. I'll be involved in a couple of the sessions, the round table, but additionally, I'm going to be talking about sales efficiency and specifically the sales efficiency ratio that we developed and how to utilize it. It's a powerful tool for a sales manager or agency owner, but it's equally powerful for a sales rep to use to kind of self-manage their activities, figure out how to improve their results, and make changes when appropriate. And, pardon me, I'm just getting over a cold. One of the things to think about is that the better you utilize your time, because you only have a limited number of selling hours, the better you utilize that, the better you invest it in the right kind of activities, the more patients you're able to reach out and help through getting proper referrals. So Mel, if we could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So I drew up a little example, and in the session in Las Vegas, and I think I actually may have an hour and 15 or an hour and 30 minutes, we'll be going much more deeply into what types of changes to make. But I drew up an example, so I'd like you to meet Jack. And Jack works for my home care agency. It's Melanie Stover Home Care. And we are the best agency in town. And Jack is our best sales rep. Jack's quota for our agency is 10 new admissions per month. That's where we've set it. And we convert 80% of the referrals that Jack gets into admissions. And so obviously we need to get more than 10 referrals, because 10 referrals would only net us 8 admissions. But in order to meet that, that goal of 10 admissions, we're going to need more than that number of referrals, and we'll convert 8 out of 10 of those. Jack's
Michael,
yes.
can you get a little bit louder? We have a request from the audience that if you could get a little louder, that would be great.
I sure can try. Sorry about that. We're going with a compromised voice. So hopefully this is a little bit better. In any event, Jack's current sales efficiency ratio, which is what we're talking about, is 35-1. Now at this point that probably doesn't mean anything to you, and that's okay. We'll explain what it means. 35-1 is the number we're working with. And in Jack's entire career with us, he has never yet achieved those 10 new admissions per month. So that's the baseline. He needs 10. He's never gotten there. We convert 80%, and his sales efficiency ratio, his number is 35, or 35 to 1. Melanie, can we go to the next slide?
We're working on it here. There we go.
Okay. So the first thing to do would be to calculate the ratio, and this is how we do it. We count every sales call, every place that Jack goes for a given period of time. In our example, we'll say we used a month, but it's got to be for at least 2 weeks, so we have a statistical sample that makes some sense. And when we count every place, we need even the places that Jack goes that he doesn't get to see anybody, and that does happen often in our industry. So Jack goes to Dr. Smith's office. He was going to meet with Dr. Smith's nurse. They've got an emergency with a patient and he can't see her. We still need to count that because what we're looking to do is figure out how efficient Jack is at using his time in generating referrals. So we count the number of calls, then we count the number of referrals, not the admissions, the total number of referrals. The reason for that is Jack's job and any of your jobs if you're out there on that frontline sales position is to generate referrals. You can't go to any of your referral sources and ask for an admission. Hey, I'd like a Medicare admission today, because it's not up to the referral source whether the patient gets admitted. You cannot ask for a private duty admission or a hospice admission. That's up to the patient, and in some cases where Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance or some insurance is involved, it may be up to the qualifications of that insurance. So we are counting referrals because that's ultimately what Jack has to generate for us. So for the exact same period of time that we counted sales calls, we'll count number of referrals. And then we'll simply divide the number of referrals into the number of sales calls and come up with a sales efficiency ratio. And what we find by the numbers that we've worked on with Jack is that it takes Jack 35 sales calls, 35 places to go. In essence, he gets out of the car 35 times, and he generates from that one referral. So is that good? Is that bad? We don't know, but we're going to figure it out on our next slide. Okay, so now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. And this is really just the pre-work for sales efficiency. The post-work, what we'll spend much more time at the conference covering is, okay, I've got it, now what do I do to change it? But my agency, Melanie Stover Home Care, converts 80% of our referrals into admissions. So I've calculated that Jack in any given month will need 12 to 13 quality referrals each month to hit his goal of 10 admissions. By using his current sales efficiency ratio of 35, Jack needs to make between 420 and 455 sales calls per month to hit his goal based on his current efficiency. So if it takes 35 to get one referral, he's going to have to make somewhere around 430, 40 sales calls every month. Now that may sound like a big or small number to you depending on what you're doing, but we've taken the math and worked it back a little bit. There are 4.3 weeks in the average business month. That means every single week Jack needs to make 98 to 106 sales calls if he wants to achieve his goal. Now I don't know about you, but making 100 outside quality face-to-face sales calls, or at least having the intent when you walk in the door of doing that, 20 a day is nearly impossible. You would spend your entire time just rushing from place to place to place to get the number of sales calls in without focusing on the quality of the presentation and some of the things that Melanie talked about earlier. And so, as you can see at the bottom, this is not a workable solution. Jack's current sales efficiency ratio of 35 to 1 does not work for this position unless we're in a major metropolitan area and he can park his car once and hit a large hospital with affiliated clinics and physicians' offices and those kind of things, and he could make those number of calls per day. But in most areas, this would be an absolute formula for failure. So what do we do? Well, we're going to talk a lot about that when we get to Las Vegas, but some of the things you'd look at are the types of accounts Jack's calling on, the frequency by which he's calling on those accounts. how well he's qualified those accounts to make sure we have the right opportunity there, how much time he's spending outside of his core group of referral sources on what we call secondary referral sources. It might be too much, might be not enough. So there's a lot of variables that go into this, but as a sales rep, a successful sales rep or a sales manager, this is a great way to get a crystal clear snapshot of where we are now and where we need to go, and to come up with 2 or 3 alternate strategies to change the outcome. And in this case, the outcome is we need Jack to get those 12 or 13 referrals. Simply making 100 sales calls a week is not going to do it, so we need to change something else. Essentially what you're drawing is a roadmap, a trip guide from point A to point B. And if you've ever used your GPS or MapQuest or something, you see when you put in that you want directions, it gives you 3 different routes, sometimes by time, sometimes by distance, sometimes by avoiding any local roads. There's 3 routes and all 3 will get you there. Well, in Las Vegas, we are going to learn how to draw up 3 routes to get you from where you are to where you need to be as far as number of quality or qualified referrals for whatever type of agency that you're working in. So I'm excited to be spending the time there with you to talk about that. We certainly will have time to answer individual questions during that presentation of, hey, here's where I am, and what do you think I should do, or what do you think of this idea? And I would encourage all of you that are coming to the conference or thinking about coming to go ahead and calculate this ratio. I'm assuming Melanie will send out the slides, and if she doesn't, I'll make sure we at least get these to you. Go ahead and calculate your sales efficiency ratio before you get there, so when we dive into this presentation, you'll know exactly what your number is, and you'll figure out where it needs to be to achieve your maximum success. Melanie?
Perfect. Thanks, Michael. We have a few questions here from the group. If you have questions, additional questions, please put them in the question box, and we'll be sure to answer them before we move forward. The question is how much role play and interaction is this conference going to have? So that's a good question. It's one of the things that people have asked consistently for. This is the 3rd year we've done the conference, and people routinely ask for more role play, more time to practice their skills. So we've listened to you guys, and of course the presentation that I started to do for you know, how to get over the no, get past the no and get to the yes, that will have a tremendous amount of role play in it. We're going to take the concepts and then let you guys run with them. We will absolutely do it kind of up in front of the group, and then we'll also let you do peer-to-peer so that you have partners you can practice with your friends or colleagues or your chairmate, I guess, your seatmate there. So I think there will be a tremendous amount, and we really strive to make this conference super interactive. It's a smaller conference, and it allows you the opportunity to be in a more intimate setting, share ideas with your peers. Michael, do you have anything you would like to add to that question or answer?
Yeah, absolutely. So we realize that a bunch of people, a bunch of talking heads talking at you for 2 days is really going to give you kind of minimal value, because you'll retain a small portion of it. You may find a couple of ideas that you can take back and put into practice. But a bunch of people working with you over the course of 2 days that are intimately involved in the industry that you're in has a much higher chance of you being able to take things and use them to develop a strategic plan. So I can speak for Melanie and myself. In our sessions, they'll be highly interactive. If you don't want to be pulled to the front of the room, don't come in the room, because sitting on the front, back, left, right, behind the screen, we're going to find you and we're going to get you involved to make sure that you got it, what we talked about, and to make sure that you're able to use it. And so the amount of role play in all of our sessions is very high. When you talk about lunch or breaks or any of those things, if you want to have more interaction, more questions, we'll be there the entire time. I don't know how, but I managed to find a late night flight out of Orlando, so I will be there bright and early on the morning of the conference. I didn't think I would make it for that morning, but I'll be there to kick things off. So we are not leaving until you're satisfied that you got all of your questions answered.
Thanks, Michael. Also, I just to that note, answer any more questions, please know that we've created a special offer for you. Because you've come today to attend this webinar and you have the ability to listen to a little bit of what we're going to present, we extended the early bird rate of $499 for this Vegas conference, and it will be until Monday, September 15th. So talk to your folks today, help get around the idea, rally around the idea of going to Vegas, and you'll have till Monday to register for that. You can register for that at hcsociety.com. So the Home Care Sales and Marketing Society website, again, that's www.hc, as in home care, society.com. That's where you'll find the registration page and the full agenda to the meeting. Okay, so the second question we have here, Michael, is will you be talking about sales reps or how to hire sales reps?
That's a great question. I'll be talking about it if you ask me about it. Within the confines of any of our existing sessions, no. Within the confines of our experts panel, you can absolutely ask about that, and I'll be there for the entire time. So if any of you want to discuss that, or you want to sit down and have a private meeting about how to source sales reps, how to isolate great candidates, how to interview properly, I'll be happy to talk about all of those things. As many of you probably know, PowerShot Training has just made its first real foray into recruiting and placement of sales candidates. We always helped our clients with their recruiting, but now we're doing it on our own and providing clients, providing sales reps for our clients. And so I've been doing nothing for the last 2 weeks but interviewing candidates from all across the country, and I'm happy to share any of that knowledge with you to help you in your recruiting effort. Absolutely.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks to Sally, pointed out that I have Monday the 15th when really it's the 16th. So thanks, Sally, for sharing that information. I just made those changes and put that right back up there, so thank you for that. And I also put the society website on here at hcsociety.com. So if you did want to go and sign up for the meeting, you can go right to hcsociety.com. On the home page, it says learn more about the annual conference, and it'll take you to the full agenda and also the registration page. So thanks for that information. Another question was, how many people have signed up? And right now we have just under 50. And I think that is a great, intimate group. Michael, you can speak to what your experience was last year, because we had similar numbers last year.
Yeah, so last year we had just around 49 people at the second annual conference. It was a good-sized group to work with because no one was so far away from the action that they didn't get to be part of it. I spent a lot of time between the sessions, and even during some of the sessions when people had to duck out, being able to talk one-on-one to people and get some feedback. So I think it's going to be great. I'd love to see us with 70 or 75. I mean, ultimately, the conference should have 7,500 people at some point in the future, because we are the voice and the professional support for home care sales and marketing people. This is the group to belong to in order to make more professional the way that we all make our living. But for this year, we're close to 50. If we have 70 or 75, we'll still have plenty of experts to go around to make sure all your questions are answered and that you get maximum value. And if you want to learn to either win or lose at the slot machines, I'm the guy to show you how to do both of those. So thank you.
Okay. We seem to have someone who says the audio is not working. Are folks having difficulty hearing us? It's kind of a funny question to ask. If you're not hearing us, it's going to be tough to answer. But it seems like some folks were having some difficulty hearing us. So if you can't hear us, you may want to pop that into the question box, and we'll see what we can do. A second question is, will the content be directed towards new sales reps without the ratio in hand? What do we do about new sales reps, Michael?
Yeah, Yet another good question. I'd like to note that our audio is actually working, so so that people can hear the answer. So if someone wouldn't mind in that question box just letting us know that you're hearing Melanie and I, that would be terrific. So I can I can answer this and people will actually be able
Okay,
to hear it.
she says we can hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you. Okay. So what do we do for new sales reps? Well, that is a great opportunity to plan out a sales efficiency ratio for a new rep. So you obviously cannot come with one in hand, but if you know what the goal is for that new rep, if you are a new rep or you're bringing a brand new rep with you and you know what the goal is, it's X number of admissions for Medicare certified home health, or it's X number of hours, or whatever the ratio might be for private duty or for hospice or DME, then bring that part with you. Bring a territory listing of number of potential accounts with you. And from that, we can work backwards and we can understand what an ideal sales efficiency ratio will look like, and then it can become a goal that you work towards. And so as you start your home care selling career, as you go out and qualify the territory, we'll have a better idea of number of accounts we should be calling on, the number of referrals that we'll need to generate per account, by account strata, top 20 accounts, B and C accounts. So there's a lot we can do even for sales, brand new sales reps. So please make sure that you bring all of that info with you, and we'll make sure that you leave with something you can work with.
Thank you. Here's a really awesome question. How much of your conference is going to be specifically focused on non-medical private duty? That is an excellent question, because most of you are wondering, is this going to be Medicare certified home health? Is it going to be private duty? And here's the scoop. Michael and I are really focused on the private duty and the Medicare certified home health. So locally, I'm responsible for a pretty big team that sells both Medicare certified home health and has a private pay business that's quite robust. So all of my material is really directed towards both of them. And you saw that today in some of the questions that I posed out there, that I can take a similar question and either turn it into a private duty question or response for a referral. And also I can take that same question and modify it to a Medicare certified home health. Michael, do you want to speak specifically to the things that you're going to do?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about solutions and strategies for the home care industry, and home care is inclusive of hospice, DME, private duty, and Medicare home health. My guess is that the majority of you will be home health or private duty, and so there will be not any specific presentations that say this is for private duty only, but there will be specific answers to your questions or some clarifying language. When we're private duty, we do this. When we're Medicare certified, we do this. And when we're hospice, we do this. We are going to be all-inclusive to make sure that everybody, we're not excluding anyone during any of the presentations.
You know, Michael, that brings up a really good point. I was just sitting here thinking, for $499, they get access to all of us. And, we cost more than $499 a day if we were to come to their facility or to their agency. And I was thinking that, gosh, they get access to you and me and Steve the Hurricane and Ed and some of the other, Liz Pearson is worth her weight in gold from a legal advice standpoint, and she routinely, freely dispenses legal advice, or opinions, I should say, while she's at the conference. So from a value standpoint, you just really can't get any greater value than the $499 for 2 days out. Plus, you get to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mel. Of course, value is in the eye of the beholder, but for the folks listening, if you want to be in the room with 7 or 8 people that are very deeply involved in the business that you are in and get to view it from a different perspective and nationally and even internationally, to have some ideas and strategies of what works and what doesn't, it is a good investment to be there. If you can at all do it, we'd love to see you.
Perfect. So I would just share with you a couple things. One is that please do sign up. This is going to be a phenomenal conference. We love to have you. There's lots of things that is going on. Not only is it just the interaction with the experts, But it's also the interaction with your peers, peers who are not in your territory. You know, you're going to be able to connect with folks who are just not your competitor, but they have fantastic ideas that are working for them in their area, and you're going to be able to capture those ideas and implement them in your territory. Perfect. So here's a good question for you, Michael.
Sure.
Will you keep an eye on my sales rep and give me feedback on his performance, not his gambling?
I'm actually able to give you feedback on both, and so yeah, yeah, I can volunteer for double duty there. Yeah, you know, that's actually one of the good questions we get a lot of times when we go out and work one-on-one with agencies and their entire sales team is there. Very often the executives want to know, more so than how did the training go, what did you see in the people that I had there? Tell me what you thought of them. And so I'm able to keep an eye on your sales rep if you just let me know who that is, and make sure that, yeah, ahead of time, and make sure that he, I think you said it was a he, you know, gets as much attention as we can provide. So yes, I'll be happy to do that.
Perfect. So please do sign up. A couple things that I would like to share with you is, one, there are still a few rooms available at the Monte Carlo Hotel for our special rate of $63 a night. So please do take advantage of that. That code is, again, over in the registration page or registration area at hcsociety.com. So take a peek at that. I know that Michael and I are super excited to meet all of you. And certainly, you know, if you have additional questions, please do email us. You can email Michael at michaelg@powershottraining.com. If you'd like to email me, you can email me, Melanie, M-E-L-A-N-I-E, at homecaresales.com. Or you can just visit homecaresales.com and find both of us there on that webpage. So, Michael, any words of wisdom as we leave today?
Yes, go back to the very first slide, if you would, Melanie, because there's something important that we forgot to tell the folks about.
Oh, my gosh, I forgot. You're right. Here we are.
Yes,
From the beginning.
I am absolutely excited to serve as your MC, Master of Ceremonies, and host for the Home Care Sales and Marketing Society's Got Talent. Our opening session, we're going to talk a little bit about the state of home care in the United States, home care, home health, hospice, some of the changes that are here, some of the changes that are coming up. But we're going to integrate that along with the HCSMS Got Talent show, and we're going to have an expert panel of judges, Steve the Hurricane, Melanie Stover, and a mystery judge yet to be announced. And so if you've got a talent, no, let me strike that. You do have a talent. Whatever your talent is, we want you to bring it out there. There's going to be some fabulous and fun prizes for you. One of them will not be a night of gambling with Michael Giudici, with him providing the bankroll. I guarantee you of that. But there's going to be some fun prizes. It'll be a great way to get started and get the energy level up. You can sing, you can dance, you can do a dramatic reading, you can do a role play of your best sales call, tell jokes.
Baton twirling.
We don't care. Just bring your own props if you need them. No flames, no explosives, please, and nothing too dangerous. Well, it's Vegas. You can do something dangerous. So what you need to do, if you want to register before and you want to get early in the session, is email Melanie and let her know that you want a spot on HCSMS Has Got Talent. And if you decide at the last minute that you're going to get up and let the world see your talent, well, we'll make room for you too. So I'm excited to kick things off that way and have a really fun time with all of you. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And there was one quick question that says, are you going to be at the Leadership Conference at the Home Care Association of America? And the answer is yes. Michael, do you want to just quickly share what you're going to be speaking about at formerly MPDA's conference?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. So for anyone going to the Home Care Association of America's annual conference, and that is on, let me give you the exact date that I'll be speaking, Wednesday, September the 25th, I'm going to be doing our extra step selling, getting past the objections in private duty, and getting on with the sale. And I believe I have 2 hours. It's probably an hour and a half, but I may have 2 hours. But I will be there the entire day, yet again. And so if there's anything you want to discuss outside of that, please feel free to look me up. I'm the guy without the hair, probably the only one at the meeting that will have that, but I'll look forward to meeting many of you down there, and so please attend my session if you can, and if you can't, for some reason, please look me up before or after so we can talk. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Michael, so much for your help today. I appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you in Vegas, and we look forward to seeing all of you in Vegas. Thanks so much for joining us today. And Michael, any other things that you'd like to share?
I'll look forward to hopefully seeing my money that I left in Vegas last time as well.
Thanks. All right, guys, have a great day and a great weekend. We look forward to seeing your registrations through Monday. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.